Scream 7 just came out, and it has a 32% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is this the worst rated Scream movie in all of human history? Possibly. Why does everyone hate this movie? What do the critics say about this movie? It's cheap, garbage, incoherent, nostalgia driven, cash grab, cliche, lifeless, regurgitating, out of juice, slog, and the reviews seem to be mixed. Some people act as if it's the worst Scream movie of all time, while others say that, hey, it's actually not that bad. So why are these critics trying to make this movie seem as bad as possible? Are they trying to boycott it? If so, it's not working, because Scream 7 grossed domestically $93 million. Worldwide, $149 million, with its initial budget being $45 million. I've already watched Scream 6, so I'm pretty excited to watch Scream 7. Let's check out these hot and new videos, okay? The Scream reboot that nobody asked for. I don't want any spoilers for Scream 7, okay? I'm watching this on Friday the 13th. The blandification of Scream? Forget the blandification. What about the ification of YouTube? It has become YouTube's latest buzzword for video essayist. If you click on a video and the first sentence of the description is a BetterHelp sponsorship, run. Let's see, the NYC setting was so underutilized in 6. I could agree with that, that's a fair point. The Scream TV series is criminally underrated. Some of the best kills of the franchise between 3 seasons. I didn't know there's a Scream TV series. Oh, this was the reboot that Nordstalgic was talking about. Right. Horror is so good that even when it's bad, it's good. Where's the one about it's saying that like Scream 6 was lazy? My headcanon. Scream 6 falsely marketing the movie as a deeply New Yorkian is a winking 40 chess meta reference to Jason Takes Manhattan. Very respectable. I'm going off track. Modern Hollywood is ruining Scream. This has always been circulating around my YouTube feed. Has any of these people even watched Scream 6? Alright, do not let these people influence your opinion. They're just movies, okay? To these people, anything that isn't Scream 1 or 2 is garbage in their opinion. So I guess you could say Scream 7 has become the new Scream 3. I have forgotten to utter the words of take everything with a grain of salt, since I'm too young and naive to understand the true struggles that these people watching the video are facing with their franchise. They're old and confused. Or maybe I just like being correct, maybe it's not that serious. Now let's get this straight. What does Scream 6 have? A $35 million budget, returning actors from past movies, which were all the way from the last movie, practical effects, stunts, like actual real stunts, no green screen, and still that's not enough for you. Wow. I guess this is all about change. It's about accepting change. If you don't like that movie, don't watch it, okay? But I guess that's a given too. Those people, what they're doing, they're just expressing their opinions. It just so happens to be the one I see the most, when in fact, statistically speaking, they're the ones that are the least effective. Anything past Scream 4 is garbage. Alright? In their eyes, ever since Wes Craven left, So did the Scream franchise. It is hard making a movie. Scream 6 wasn't cheap at all. What? You called it? You're gonna call it lazy and unoriginal? Cheap? A cash grab? You called it that? I will watch that movie on Friday the 13th of March so I can get my opinion on it. And if the movie is good, it's good. If the movie is bad, well, I think I just proved you guys right because you guys love being correct, don't you? Turns out that whole "if you don't like it, don't watch it" argument I just made is in fact garbage. Because, according to Reddit, come on, this is supposed to be professional, no logical fallacies, no biased hatred, no dumb takes, just straight to the point, okay? Well, it turns out that was a pre-order. The only way I could have watched that movie is if I were to drive all the way to the nearest mall all by myself to watch it at 8:15. I couldn't call my parents at all, okay? I couldn't. They weren't there. So we're watching Scream 3 instead. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. So, I just watched Scream 3 last night, and it it wasn't very scary. Honestly, it was more campy than scary, you know? Now, the first three Scream movies were no esoteric masterpieces, but, I would say that even Scream 6 is better than this, because at least for, Scream 6, I felt like the dread of the other protagonists. Like, a lot of people died in that movie, like 13, you know? I mean, here, alright, no, it didn't really explore the movie industry making part because it was too busy on the murder mystery part of it. At least it did something different instead of oh, Ghostface is going around town killing people and we have to save him for stop him for the fourth time, you know? At least it did something different. As of now, the critic score of Scream 7 is 31% on Rotten Tomatoes, but on Scream 3, the audience score is 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, so objectively speaking, it is the lowest rated Scream movie. So I'll be reacting to the trailer to Scream 7 to see what all the fuss is about. 1.4k dislikes. What the? Oh, it's a motion detector thing. This technology is very, inaccurate. That's not how Ring doorbell cameras work. You could have done it! Oh my god. At this point, Cindy and Ghostface should have a group chat together. The way she named her daughter after her best friend just warms something in my heart. Okay. I mean, it looks like a normal Scream movie to me, kind of. So, I watched 3 reviews on Scream 7, and I wrote them down as notes. Let's see. The popular consensus for Scream 7. One video from Penguin Zero called "Is Scream 7 Actually Horrible?" The bullet points I made are: the opening is the best part. You care more about the characters in the opening than the rest of the movie. All the characters other than Cindy and the other two are generic. Cindy and Tatum's relationship is hardly explored. Every new character is cannon fodder. Sus characters who could be Ghostface. Cringe investigation scene. The kills feel like they don't matter. Main character forgets about all of her friends. One of the Ghostface killers gets hit by a car who was an asylum escapee. Stu AI deepfake side plot. Fake AI Sid dies by getting hit by. Fake AI Stu dies by getting hit by a laptop, and that subplot was useless. I butchered that point a bit. The characters are dumb. Stupid characters get called out for doing stupid things, but still do stupid things anyways. Constant, obvious, and dumb decisions. The ending is the worst part. The monologue from the villain is very long. The 3 Ghostface killers that are completely random people. Scream nostalgia baiting. Lazy meta writing. No one aims for the head of the Ghostface killers. James A. Janice thoughts on Scream 7 from Denny Shorts. To get off topic a bit, He said that at a Scream convention or something, a lot of Scream fans liked Scream 7, except for the ending. The bullet points I made are: first time he watched it, he disliked it. Second time he liked it more. He can my handwriting is so bad. He can no longer say that there are no bad Scream movies. Some scenes weren't that bad, but some scenes were very good, or even good, but separate from the movie. The biggest problem from him is that it's not a good Scream movie. It's fine as a slasher movie, but it fails as a Scream movie. The McKenna Grace scene was fantastic. It was very disappointing for him. And finally, Scream is just stabbed now, explained by Amanda the Jedi. A mess of ideas trying to engage with its history. No way from Ghostface presence. Lame kills, poor shots. They lost the plot, becoming all the things it used to make fun at. It feels bland. The production was bad, which is why it was so expensive. It's trying to retread the original movies, that some lines are ripped out. Stereotypical characters. It's not subversive. Sue was going to be alive originally. The writing team had no idea what they were trying to do. The foundation of the kill reveal was flawed. A lot of things said about this movie. I was originally gonna make this video being like, hey, this movie's actually really good and all you guys are wrong. I went into this thinking that it's an oppressive opinion to like Scream 7, but all the reviews I watched were like, if you like a movie, that's fine. It's just that I didn't like it personally. Well, don't judge a YouTube video by its thumbnail. This was me, an unlicensed investigative journalist, going around to parks and coffee shops to try to gain the opinion of a random person I could find. But the thing was that I asked 7 people if they were open to interviews. The first person was at a coffee shop who said that they didn't know anything about the Scream movies. The second person was at a park who wasn't open to interviews in general. The third person, pretty much the same thing. The fourth person said that they didn't watch any of the Scream movies, so they didn't have any opinions about Scream 7. The fifth person, I don't remember, it wasn't open to interviews, yeah. The sixth person was walking a dog. She was busy. And the seventh person, same thing, except at a coffee shop, and wasn't walking the dog, he was just busy. So, what I managed to gather is that Scream is a niche horror movie series that not many people are invested in the public. Also, from what the 2 results I could have gotten, that's anything about Scream. Alright, so what were your thoughts on Scream 7? Because we just watched it.
Yes, I thought this was the first Scream movie I've ever seen from beginning to end.
Oh, it's not?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
And so there were a lot of references to previous movies, the earlier series.
I mean, that's the point. Like, Scream 5 was also like that. It's been like this since Scream 4.
Yeah, so, I mean, in that respect, I sort of follow, but not completely, because I wasn't familiar with all the characters that were brutally murdered.
Honestly, for me, yeah, that's okay. As someone who watched all the Scream movies before, yeah, it definitely felt like one of them. Like, it wasn't a bad movie, it wasn't, like, appalling, it just felt like a normal Scream movie to me, you know? All the characters, like, pulling out some tropes, like, oh, yeah, there's this guy, he looks very sus. Like, he was so obvious his name might as well have been Killer, just saying, when he was not now. You know, it was, like, half comedy movie and half, like, horror movie. And I can see where they're going with that. It just feels like it's trying to commit to both, but it fails to. Like, if you want to make a comedy movie, make a comedy movie. If you want to make a horror movie, make a horror movie. That's fine. But it's just like at the end, like none of it really like leads up. Like we still end up at like a house fighting 2 other ghost faces. Like every other Scream movie before that.
Yes, I completely agree with you on that, that there were a number of horror film tropes. You know, for example, trying to have a surprise killer when it's not a surprise at all. And taking people from previous movies and just dropping them into the movie. Oh, here's another cameo, and another, and another. And then the horror scenes themselves, they were pretty traditional and predictable.
Yeah.
Where they're in a darkened room, the scary music starts, the victim looks around and makes a stupid mistake, and then dies from it.
Like, obviously, like, we got the obvious horror trope too, like, the cops are so bad, like, the cop always dies, you know? And yeah, the killer reveal, like the first Ghostface, there's like three Ghostface killers. He got like ran over. And it's like some dude from like a coffee shop who we see in like one scene.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like the two other killers. It's like the the like an employee from like the asylum and Cindy's like neighbor. They just come off as like very pathetic and like goofy. There's like some superhero movie stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
It's very like on the nose with its the subplot of bringing up like AI deepfakes. That's definitely like an interesting idea. I would have loved to see more of like Sydney's relationship with her daughter. I just don't see enough of it. We get like a few scenes, and the movie it just felt very short. It felt like 1 hour and 30 minutes, where it was like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and hearing about what people were saying about this, I was already going through my head of like, hey, what's the worst possible Scream movie I can think of? What if there's like 32 Ghostface killers revealed at the end? What if
Mm-hmm.
it's like that? Yeah, what if there's like a masked vigilante with like two pistols or something?
Yeah, there are a lot of other plots they could
Yep.
have incorporated.
Sid,
Less predictable.
this is like the sixth time in a row this has happened to like Sydney, and I get how at this point she would be sick of it and wouldn't want her daughter to live through it, but it happens anyways.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, she should have like 5 bodyguards surrounding her at all times.
Yes.
There were some cool scenes. Like I like this scene where like Cindy's daughter had to like shoot through the wall, like do on a phone call of what like Cindy was telling her. But like yeah, right after that it just got like stupid. And also like the obligatory like monologue at the end, if you want to stab, stab, don't talk. Okay, this never goes well. If you guys are such horror movie fanatics, you should know that it never goes well.
Mm-hmm.
And when like there were two ghost faces, they could have killed Sydney's daughter right at the shop she was at. They had her cornered.
Mm-hmm.
As for like Sydney, I feel like this was one of her like easiest outings. Despite like there were like 22 people dying or something, it felt like pretty easy, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe. I don't have anything to compare it to, but yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there were some elements, that could be traced back to the older Scream movies. Like it was a bit campy, like the older Scream movies. Kind of. It's just that I'm running out of things to say here. All right. It's supposed to be like kind of campy. It's not supposed to take itself too seriously, because from its roots, it was like trying to be like a meta commentary on like horror movies. But at this point, you start to run out of material.
Yes.
I would have loved it at like Scream 6, where they continued on with like Jenna Ortega and like the other like final girl from like the last movie, because it would have been interesting to explore like the true mental toll that these events would take place of. What if like what would have been really interesting? What if there was no Ghostface killer?
Mm-hmm.
What if there's like no killer at all? What if it was like Wes Craven's New Nightmare or something, where it's all like psychological or something? That would be kind of interesting. Scream 3 was about the movie production process,
Mm-hmm.
so at least it did something. And I wouldn't. It it wasn't as bad as I heard people say it was. Judging from the reviews, I thought it would be like the Home Sweet Home Alone of Scream, where it's like borderline unwatchable.
Mm-hmm.
But It was fine. It was funny. It was kind of tense. I mean, the beginning of like the movie was like pretty good. It did a good job at me of the first impressions, being like, oh no, it's gonna be one of those movies. Like the movie starts with like two like moviegoers going into like a Scream themed Airbnb, and like the dude's like such a loser and he can't stop making like Scream references. Meanwhile, his wife is like, "Well, stop doing that. It's not funny."
Yeah.
And then like a ghost face shows up and like kills two of them, of course. Also like burns down the house. Like the house burns down pretty quickly. Like, was it made out of nitroglycerin? There's no way Ghostface coated the entire house in like fuel, unless if like the woman who fell off the chandelier was knocked off for like 50 minutes.
Well, maybe they had to squeeze it into the movie production. To
Perhaps. I
the allotted time for
I've
that.
heard the production was a disaster. You know how much money they had to pay Nev Campbell for her to come back? They had to pay her $7 million.
Yeah, well, she earned it.
Yeah, the movie had a $45 million budget. That's I'm not gonna do the math. Oh yeah, Jenna Ortega backed out on the project from the last movie, and a bunch of other actors too. The script got rewritten, and it took $700K to have it rewritten. Did you know that in the original script, like Stu was actually going to be revealed to be alive somehow?
That would have been fun.
The thing is just that test audience really didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
So out of all like the dozens and like the tens and hundreds of Scream videos I could see saying that it's like the worst Scream movie of all time, I found one video on YouTube that was positive, and that video was I Love Scream 7 by Drunk Dumbs 2026 spoiler free in parentheses. The much rundown of the video consists of the age for Sydney's daughter is a bit of a discrepancy. The drama with Sydney's daughter and Sydney is understandable since Tatum knows about the sad movies and causes a rift. A stray about to Tatum trying to connect with her mother and even eventually Sydney waking up to try to help Sydney's daughter. Her daughter, I mean. Sydney is married to a cop. Dale is the best scene out of the entire franchise. Dale gets to shine in this movie, and one of the best portrayals. Sydney really shines too in this movie. Tatum was a good character, the best Ghostface kills in terms of creativity. The crowd was roaring at this movie. The movie takes risks. It's just a straight up slasher movie. It starts off kind of rough. It gets bloodier and more fast paced and more fun. The common complaint is that the first two parts are good and the last part not so good. But he disagreed and had a blast with the last act. He was spoiled on this movie and didn't know the context of anything. In his opinion, it was better than 5 or 6. He said that he was tiptoeing a lot for this review. He understands the negative complaints of some fans because some fans want different themes. Purchase worthy rating and went in with the lowest expectations. So yeah, we got some varying opinions. The common consensus ones I put in the notes say that Sydney and Tatum's relationship wasn't that well explored, but the review I watched said it was solely about Sydney and Tatum's relationship. That's basically what I've got to say about this. I mean, no duh, obviously, they're gonna think differently, yet kind of similar opinions, contradicting with each other since it's two opposite sides. So, after going through all of that, what are my final thoughts? If I want to get it out of the way, in my opinion, Scream 7, I mean, the Scream franchise in general has always been very stupid. It's not really known for its plot. Like, really, if you take apart the plot details, remove all the drama and stuff, it sounds very stupid. I'd say even Scream 1 too, like, and oh, Scream 3 was stupid, like, very. I mean, I can agree with some of the consensus. Like in Scream 6, I remember like people getting stabbed like a lot and they could somehow survive. But in Scream 7, it did fix that issue. A lot of people say that the relationship between Tatum and Sydney aren't very well explored, but I'd say it was. And what Moist Critical said that, oh yeah, the side characters, they're just there for Father Door. Yeah, it's about the main characters, okay? Some characters in slasher movies are there to get killed off. That's how a slasher movie works, okay? Like, that one Asian girl wearing, like, the green short in, like, Scream 1. I don't remember her name. And I'd even say that the characters that got killed off in Scream 7, they're only killed off like near the end of the movie, you know, and I feel like they were pretty fleshed out. I knew a bit of them. I just don't remember their names, but that's just how it works. Was the movie good? I guess, but I hear no one saying this, okay? Assuming that these people like to hold up the older Scream movies as like some kind of upper echelon pedestal, like the first Matrix movie or the first Starship Troopers movie. It's. And is it the worst Scream movie? No. What is the worst Scream movie? I don't know. Maybe Scream 3, I'd say. No, I think Scream 5 more, in my opinion. So yeah, that will do it for my in-depth analysis on the review about the reviews of Scream 7. If I'm the next in line, don't you know it's a scream? The devil is hungry. I don't remember the lyrics.